I'm Lee, I'm 42, I'm born in England, and I've been in business for about 20 years. Worked in the entertainment retail sector. Then I left about 4 years ago and decided I wanted to pursue my own goals. I wanted to have my own ambitions in life. So I decided to go into business for myself. I've always been passionate about photography, so I sort of got myself up to a standard of photography that was good enough to work in the industry, and then started a business, and then ran that business for, 3 years. And at the same time I decided I wanted to learn more, so I then initially went back to college and spent 2 years at college, and then loved academic life so much that I really had this sort of passion to want to do university, so it sort of fell in, and went to university in Coventry in England. I wanted to study with people that have been there, those that had the knowledge and experience that could really impart that. And secondly was, I didn't go to university when I left school, and I suppose for a good 10 years I've really regretted that. So it was always a dream of mine, an ambition of mine, to actually go back to university and experience the university life as a student, the whole package. Now, most mature students will go back and study at university and commute in. When I went back fully as a student. I stayed in student accommodation, I lived with students. I wanted to experience everything as it was, like I should have done when I was 18, to get the full picture, and I haven't regretted it. In life, to go and live in another city for a year, you have to be sort of financially stable to be able to do that. Well, as a student, they're giving you that opportunity. It's not something you're going to get till much later on. So I looked at the different places, and Madrid was a popular choice, and especially going to Spain. And I love capital cities and city life, so everything sort of fell into place. So I applied to get on the scheme, and here I am here in Madrid now, and absolutely loving it and thinking what a great decision it was. The language barrier is fun because as much as academic as I have been and capable of learning things, another language seems to be something that my mind refuses to accept. Beyond that, the culture is very different here in Spain. But I suppose coming from a person or being older, you tend to be very much more accepting and open to new cultures. Before I came to university, it was really scary, because I didn't know how people would react, particularly as I walked in, and I just felt that I'm going to go and sit in a classroom and there's going to be a whole load of students, and all of a sudden they're all going to get up and move to one side of the room going, "Who's that?" But I was so surprised that when I've come here, what I've found is that young people hold so little prejudice, particularly educated young people, and they're just so welcoming, and they made me feel so integrated, to the point where I spend so much time now with this 18 to 25 year old group that I forget that I am in my 40s. And I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I start to want to go and do all the 20-year-old things that you used to do. And it's only when I look in the mirror and it reminds me, actually I'm a little bit older, that I realise that there's certain things that perhaps you don't go nightclubbing anymore. But even then, like I said, I get invited along to do all these things, and I can't credit the students I've been with so much for being so welcoming in that, and just not in terms of going over the top to welcome you, in terms of just being like, it's such a non-issue, it doesn't mean anything. We don't care about age. You're here, you're doing the same thing as we do, let's go and have fun and enjoy it. And that's brilliant. So I would say for other mature students, what you want to do is, if you're interested in coming to university, if you can, go for the full university experience. Don't be afraid of it. So that means coming to live at university with the students, experience everything, you stay in student houses or student accommodation. A lot of universities these days actually cater, are used to mature students now, because there's more and more coming back. Universities really like mature students because we're coming to university at a stage where we really want to be there, so they know we're going to put in a lot of work and effort into our studies, because that's the reason we're there. There's nothing like sort of making yourself feel a lot younger and doing it that way and really enjoying it. So I would say for anybody that's thinking about going back to university or going to university at an older age, then don't be frightened by how you'll be perceived or the reaction you'll get. I can promise you that everyone will be so welcoming, and you will enjoy your university life and experience from that. So I'd love to do it twice. I'd like to finish and do it again so much.